this morning you're getting like this super real, here's how Kelly does her thing routine. Let me put you down here for a second. So I just showered and I'm gonna throw on some clothes and then I'm actually gonna go outside with you and talk a little bit about Semana Santa, catch up on what's been happening lately. So let me put myself together a little bit here, okay? As you can see, I'm not totally, but I'm gonna get ready. And so you can hang out with me like that, okay? So a viewer asked me recently, hi guys. Oops. There we go. Okay, so I'm just getting myself together and I have to go out of town a little bit, but first I'm gonna stop and once I get dressed, tell you kind of like what's happening. It's Semana Santa this week. It's a big party week here. And a little bit about that, a little bit about just generally what's been going on. Hey everybody, I didn't know if anybody would be hopping on in the morning, but I thought, well, I'll go live anyway and then you guys can catch it later. So let me get myself together. Here, sit right here. Sit right here. This is coconut oil, fresh coconut oil. I put this on every day. Keeps my skin nice and smooth. I've been told my skin is very soft and smooth, so I like to use this. And it's a natural mosquito repellent, so we'll be putting this on. Just put a little bit in my hands. Rub it on like so. Hi everybody, good morning, good morning. This is kind of how I do it, más o menos. Yeah, but there's lots to talk about. As you may know, this week is called Semana Santa. It means Holy Week. It's really kind of like the biggest sort of, well, holiday party week anyway, in the DR, right? So you know, Sunday is Easter, Resurrection Sunday. Today is Friday. And I just did a clip. I'm gonna put together a different video, like more edited, about Semana Santa. That'll happen later. But for now, live, shares this with you. And so, Viernes Santo, excuse me, Good Friday is observed as a silent day. Hold on, here we go. You can see my face. A silent day in the country. Not silent, but it's not the whole crazy partying like you hear on other days here. We're gonna put you someplace where, there we go. So, you know, there's lots of it's modified because it's COVID, of course, so it's not like completely over the top partying. But, you know, people do come to town because they come to the beach towns really, like from the capital and different places to enjoy the week, and or at least a few days, and hang out, and like you can definitely hear and see the dune buggies and the big motos, and you know, the guys are doing their thing, and people just come to have a good time. So last year there was no Semana Santa because of COVID. It was totally canceled, naturally. This year they're allowing it modified. So there is a curfew in place. You can come and hang out, but I think the curfew's like 7 p.m. You know, they give you a grace period to get home, a generous grace period to get home. But are restricted. Bars and restaurants aren't allowed to just be open super late, serving liquor, because they want people to, you know, not go crazy, lose their minds. So that's what's happening. That's what's happening this week. This is Good Friday, Viernes Santo, so the day is like basically a quiet day. I mean, in your house, in your private villa, whatever you do, whatever you want to do, but the general idea is that there's like a respect shown because this is the day Jesus was crucified, and so there's not going to be any like partying or clubbing. Well, there's no clubbing anyway right now. But anyway, it's pretty mellow. Everything's closed, banks are closed. You know, most businesses are closed, but that's kind of how it goes. So anyway, this is me, my morning routine. A little bit of beauty, a little bit of sun protection, because, oh yeah, for you guys who come here, even if you're a black or brown person, please protect your skin, because the sun is no joke here. And I'm pretty fair. I mean, I'm like golden, right? Pretty fair color still. And the sun will get you. So anyway, let's go get dressed. We'll make our way downstairs. What should I wear today, you guys? I'm being interviewed. Someone's gonna interview me. I don't know, for something. So let's Welcome to my closet, which I love because I have a bunch of stuff in here. Can you rub? No, thank you. I'm good with the oil rubbing. Let's see. So 600 pesos for a bottle of pure. Yeah, they did overcharge you. I paid 300 for mine. So there's a guy on the beach, like an old man who walks around. I guess he's at least partially blind. And oh, you're joking. Okay, thank you. I do get offers for coconut oil rubbing, massages and stuff. So, you know. But there's someone, an older guy who walks on the beach here, and he's usually led by like a teenager or a younger person, and he's got a big sack, like a big potato sack, it looks like, and he's got bottles of coconut oil in there. You can buy from him. I bought from him before, but he's always going to start at the higher price. You know, I think the first time I paid 500 pesos for a bottle of coconut oil, but I know the price now is like 350 is about right. Although I will say, quite honestly, for a bottle of fresh coconut oil, like, you know, fresh, what is it called, cold pressed or whatever. I mean, if you pay $10, what would you pay in the US, right? It's pretty good, but I don't pay much here. Okay, so Semana Santa. I've talked about that a little bit. What am I gonna wear, people? What's to wear today? No say. To think of some different options. Anyway, there's been a lot going on. I'm free now because my son is in the US. In fact, my mom just messaged me. Hey, Didi, good morning. My mom just messaged me. It's all good. He's playing with his friends out there. He played golf yesterday. That's the guy you got the coconut oil from? Yeah, that's the guy. That's the coconut oil man. So my son played golf yesterday with my dad, and he's having a great time. I'm here loving life because I get to just do my own thing. Excuse me while I put my shirt on. Do my own thing. There we go. And hey, Portia! I was thinking about getting on this morning, and I'm like, well, you know, this, that, and the other. I was like, well, let me just do a quick live while I'm getting ready. I'll go down to the patio in a minute and talk to you guys. Hold on, put my towel back. Hold on. Okay, back. So, what was I saying? Yeah, my son's gone. I got free drinking coffee. Yes. The coconut oil man. Okay, quick recap for those of you who just jumped on. I know I'm doing one early. I know, you know, people are probably just waking up and stuff. There's a man here in Las Terrenas. I don't know his name. He's an older gentleman. He's vision impaired. I don't know if he's totally blind, but anyway, he's always led around by a younger person. He's got a big sack, like a potato sack over his back full of coconut oil bottles. I just showed my bottle. They're recycled rum bottles, and it's fresh pressed, wonderful coconut oil, which I use every day on my skin, and I love it, love it, love it, love it. And but someone was asking about the price. So I don't choose, I paid him, you always overpay the first time because you don't know, right? So I paid, I think, like 500 pesos the first time around, and now I pay like 300 pesos maybe. I don't always get it from him. In fact, I've only gotten it from him once or twice, I think. There's other places I know to go in town that sell it. And so, you know, you can get the fancy bottle, the plastic with the label and all that, and pay more, but why would I do that, right? So I'm looking for something to put on my body, people. Hold on tight, please. Just something quick. Something quick. Habichuela con dulce. Yeah, it's that time. Habichuela con dulce. I will have some of that. Thank you. Sweet beans they're called, right? There's all kinds of wonderful treats here in the DR. The old half blind man. Yes, that's him. Yes, that's that guy. That's the coconut oil man. You guys, I went to this boutique in town the other day. Why did I go in there and I bought? I'll just say that. But I got some cute stuff. I also had a total shopping spree in Santo Domingo, which was super fun. Wasn't part of the plan, but it was fun. So, all right, let's go sit down and chat on the patio. I love the mornings. So I'm doing a Semana Santa video, I'll do an edited one so you guys can get the sense of like what it's like throughout the week. And I did a clip this morning about Viernes Santo. So today's Friday, right? It's Good Friday, or as they call it here, Viernes Santo, so Holy Friday. And it's quiet. Like, listen, it's whatever time in the morning it is now. And it's quiet, and I love it. It's so peaceful. I mean, I live in a place that's pretty peaceful anyway, as you can hear. But typically by now, I'd be hearing, especially Semana Santa, you hear like the motos, and I'm gonna go in town in a little bit. Someone's interviewing me this morning, which is so nice. Someone came to town and asked to interview me for something. I'm not exactly sure what it is. But typically, you'd hear, especially this week, like brrr, the loud stuff and the girls with the big booties on the quads and, the whole bit. I saw some of that yesterday when I was in town. And honestly, you have to love it. I mean, it's a little bit chaotic, but you have to love it. And this year is mellower because of COVID, right? Like last year, there was no Semana Santa at all. I don't know who that is, but someone coming up in here. No Semana Santa at all last year. And so this year they're saying, oh, it's going to be crazy and everyone's ready to just explode with partying and all that stuff. But it's not going to be like it was 2 years ago where it was just full throttle and, no one's worried about pandemics. So there were stages on the beach and sponsored by Pantene and by the Presidente beer and all this kind of stuff. And artists came and performed and it was nuts. And I mainly kind of stayed out of it because it was just a bit much. I mean, I went down there and hung a little bit, but not really. This year I'll go out with some friends and do some stuff. We have some stuff we'll do that's outside of town too. And, people were out last night doing a little bit of dancing. Good morning, everybody. I stayed in last night. I was totally chilled out and just enjoyed it. My son is gone, you guys. So I'm trying to have some quiet time and just unwinding. Been a lot of stuff going on lately. I've been working on my business and the whole website revamping and just lots of stuff. Business in California, just a lot of different things. Managing whatnot. And so my hair's wet. Had a doctor's appointment yesterday, a little checkup, all good. I'll share that with you too. I know the quiet is so lovely, right? I think as you get older, you appreciate quiet. I'm not on full throttle party anymore. I have my party girl days. I was a very good party girl. I partied in LA back in the day with the best of the best, but I didn't go over the edge and lose my mind, right? I stayed on track. I ended up going to law school and, I had a whole life planned. Well, it wasn't totally planned, but anyway, so I'm here now and I get to enjoy, what I've created. And I'll touch on this just briefly. Quite a number of you have written to me or have reached out to me in one way or another and just offered a lot of support because of, what's some changes. And I appreciate that. And everything's good. I feel great. I feel balanced and at peace. And I'm in a good place. Oh, here, let me say this too. So somebody wrote to me on one of the comments and said, oh, you are, what is it? Something about you're not recognizing that God is in control of your life. And I was like, that's not true. That's not true. And I don't get into a lot of religious stuff here. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I don't get into a lot of religious doctrine here because one, I feel like that's a really personal, it's a personal decision. Your relationship with your creator is personal. And it's not for me to tell anyone else how they should live their lives. Now, I know there are other people who might disagree with that and say, yes, it is. You have to spread the good news and all that. And I get it. But my way of spreading it is by the way I live and by the way I behave. And so I think rather than preaching at people and telling them this is what you should do, your life can serve as an example, as a demonstration. And so I do believe in God. I do believe in a divine creator and orchestrator of all this that we see, of these beautiful trees behind me, of myself, as I've said many times, what makes my heart beat and all of that. But, I'm not a student of religion, but what I do know, we could all pick apart a little bit of this one, a little bit of that one, and say there's some great things about each religion, world religions, and there's some things that are questionable. There's a lot of heinous crimes and, genocide that's been committed in the name of Christianity. So likewise for other religions, right? And so I don't ascribe to, I guess I'm just more of people say I'm spiritual, and it's true. But who am I to say to people in the rainforest or people in Tibet or wherever you may be, in Kansas City, whatever, that if you don't do this, if you don't follow this Hi, Kim. People checking in. That if you don't follow this particular path, that you are doomed. Who am I to say that? I don't, that's not my role. I don't have proof of that. I'm not judge or jury. All I can do is live my best life and do the best I can to spread love and to be truthful about the kind of person I am, to share with you the ups and the downs, which is why you may have seen that I posted some stuff recently that was not great, you know? And I talked to some people and I wondered about, do I need to share this part? And I decided, just like I cried on my, what was it, the second anniversary I was here and I was in that little dirty bus stop in Santo Domingo and I was just like overwhelmed. I just broke down. Did I want to put that on here? But I was like, that's the truth of it. The truth is that it's not always great. It's not, people are like, oh, you're living in paradise. And yeah, I mean, it is beautiful and there's loads of upsides, but there's downsides too. Just like any place you go or any time you have an experience, there's light and dark, there's shadow and there's beauty, there's all those things. And so my objective is to just be truthful about it. And so my truth is that every day is not a great day. I mean, most days are really good, but I struggle with things too sometimes. And I have challenges. I get frustrated. I get very overwhelmed at times because I have a lot to do. I mean, the good news is that business and like my life in general is wonderful and it's growing and I'm thriving and I feel great and I'm healthy and I've got a beautiful child and all kinds of things like that. That being said, because of a lot of the, what has been growing in my life, I get like fucking busy and exhausted. And sometimes I'm like, I just like, whoa, who's going to help me do all this stuff? And, I'm a single parent. And so Kansas City, you know what I'm talking about when I say Kansas City. But you hear me, right? So I'm just saying that I'm like anybody else here, but even though I live in this place, it doesn't mean that certain things don't happen. Now, I will also say that my choice to create a life like this came from like making a series of decisions over a number of years. I didn't just like click, wake up and decide I'm going to do this. I mean, it was like over a long period of time. So I can say for most of my, certainly all of my adult life, and even for most of my like, developing years, adolescence and all that, I knew I wanted to live abroad. I knew I wanted to like have my child grow up or children, whatever it was, raise a family overseas. I knew that I wanted to travel. I've always been like very much attracted to languages and culture. My Spanish is fluent now. I used to speak French fluently, and it's just rusty now because I don't use it as much. But those kinds of things totally move me, and I love that. And so, when I went to law school twice. For those of you who guys don't know, I guess I'm a glutton for punishment, right? I went once and got my regular law degree, my JD, and then I went back years later and got a master's in international law. And I was like, why would I do that? Like, I never wanted to be a lawyer anyway. But what I wanted was, I wanted to have a degree that would be like flexible, like that I could bend it and use it in the way that I wanted. Like I thought, MBA is like it's I'm not a numbers person really, and most of them just felt too fixed. But a law degree I felt like would allow me to do what I like to do, and create whatever kind of life existence I wanted to create. And that's what I did. So I'm using that. So for example, real estate. I have a business now where I do real estate here. And in the US, I did real estate as a lawyer, to an extent. I would, want to purchase or different things like that. What they call them, unlawful detainers. Basically, like if you're a landlord and your tenant doesn't pay but stays over, that's called an unlawful detainment, right? A holdover, basically. So I would assist with that and different things like that. So that has enabled me. And at the time, I'm like, I'm not, what am I doing this for? It's not what I had dreamed of. But now that comes in handy. I've written contracts, oh my God, for years. I can do contracts in my sleep. And so I know the difference between the contracts here in the DR and what's standard for us in the US. And so the point of all this is that it's come full circle. And now I can apply all these different skills and experience and language to what I'm doing here. So for example, people who've come to me and said, hey, can you help me rent a place or whatever? Yeah, I can, or buy a place even. I sold a house in Sosua like a year or so ago. But the contracts here, in my opinion, are severely lacking. Like you'll get a contract that doesn't talk about your deposit, that doesn't talk about what if this or what if that, what are the terms. I'm used to doing contracts that are much more detailed. So I can look at it in Spanish and understand what it means. I can explain it to you, I can translate it, and I will also insert things in there that need to be there, that the average person is not thinking about. would not know to include, would not know to question this or take out that clause. So, anyway, you guys, I just woke up this morning. I had a great night. I was feeling wonderful. And I just wanted to hop on and just talk to you a little bit about what's happening in my life, about Semana Santa, about, and interestingly, it happened today, Good Friday, because, you know, this is a day historically where there was a death, right? And it's usually we think of death and it's like, oh, it's sad and there's a loss of some sort. And that, you know, it's natural to feel a certain way, but also it's a release. It's like a, as we will see, right? The 3 days, it's like a rebirth, the resurrection. And so sometimes when problems come or things feel difficult, it's not always as we see them. We can choose to focus on, oh no, this is terrible and it's bad news. Or we can look at it as, wait a minute, there's a door opening here. Something's closing, but a door is opening. And it was abundantly clear to me this morning that, wow, look at all the stuff that's coming. And so I've been feeling for a way, like every now and then I'll feel like it's churning, something's going on, something is changing. And in the moment, I don't know what that is, but I know it's coming. And that's what this feels like too. It's like, okay, something else is growing, something else is evolving. And gosh, I mean, listen to this piece. Oh my God. I didn't have to, no little boy came in my room this morning like, Mom. And you know, I love it when he does that, but I'm also like, it's nice to have a break. You parents know what I'm talking about. So, I have some wonderful new things happening with my business. I've been talking to some people lately that there's just, I've had some ideas for quite a while, and it's going to take a bit to implement because I always have, that's the thing about living here, I will tell you, there's so much opportunity you can see. And people ask me frequently, well, what can I do there to earn money? And like, what's a good business to have? And can I get a job and all that? And I always tell people, look, it depends upon you, certainly. But it's like when you're here, it's almost like just seeing, like, look at all these beautiful plants, right? Trees. It's like as many leaves as you can see, that's as many opportunities as you can imagine too. There's just always something like, oh, I'm sitting here having a, you know, fresh lime juice on the beach. And then, hola, Jenna, ¿cómo estás? And then I'm like, wow, but if they put a little kiosk there and they did a little something, something, that would be cool. Or, hey, this store is cute, but it doesn't have whatever. Or like I said about the contracts are missing something. So it was an easy fit for me as a lawyer to come in and be like, all right. And I didn't even, well, that's not true. I was gonna say I didn't look for it, but I did. So my first job here was as a teacher at an international school, which is now closed. And it was a great job because I got to meet loads of people in the community and, you know kind of like some of the French people and the Dutch people and the Italian people and the Dominican people and American, just all kinds of folks I got to meet by virtue of being there and my son being there. So I met his friends and their families and all that kind of stuff. And then when that school year ended, I was like, what am I going to do? And I thought, well, what are your skills, Kelly? Like, what can you do? And of course, it's like, well, there's some obvious things that popped up. And I spoke to some of the people. One of the families actually has a real estate company here in town, but they don't speak English. And I spoke to them. I said, look, I'm a lawyer. I do contracts. I've done some real estate, you know. And they're like, oh, yes, please, please, please come and help us, blah, 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 blah. And that's how I got to that job. So I tell you that to say, you know, consider what you do. I mean, technology is huge. If you can fix the internet problem in this town, you got a job. Let me tell you something. If you can help people manage their businesses, business consulting is big. I say it's big. I mean, I think it could be very useful here. You know, it's up to you. And I'm talking about here, but I'm also talking about like this town is not for everybody. This country is not for everybody. If you're interested in living a life that's outside of what you normally do, you want to travel, you want to take some time off and do something different, then just avail yourself of what's possible. Ask your creator, right? What can I do? How can I make this work? How can I sustain myself, my living, while I'm traveling for 6 months? Or, you know, how will I keep my kids up to date in school while we are visiting wherever it may be? And you will find that answers will come to you, that it's not that difficult to do. So, sorry. Oh my God, did I tell you? I found a tarantula in my laundry basket. Yesterday, I was like, what? It was a little one. It was like that big. It wasn't tiny. It was like the size of a 50-cent piece or so. Because I went to put some clothes in there and I was like, what is that? I thought it was like a leaf. Look closer. I was like, that's a tarantula. Now, let me tell you guys, for me not to have like hit the roof and been like clean on the wall is tremendous, because there's a time, just the mention of the word tarantula would have sent me running down the street screaming. But That's what it is here. And so, hey everybody, I see you all checking in, saying hi. Um, I did not freak out. There were only a few clothes in there, right? So I took a few little things out and I was like, okay, I carried the basket over to the side, like this little balcony thing, but upstairs, and like hit it a little bit, and it was gone. But a Huntsman Spider, yeah, I heard you guys. Huntsman Spiders, you guys. I didn't know all this stuff about spiders. Those are big old spiders, but they're good because that's what they call them, huntsmen. They eat like, I think they eat cockroaches. They just eat bugs, and I'm a bug person. I tell people I have a 4-leg limit, which means after 4 legs, we're not cool. You can't be in my house. You know, I understand though that some insects will take care of other ones. So spiders, if they're not huge, I try to let them slide. The tarantula, yes, I'm from America. I'm from California, kitty. The tarantula, has the potential of being like this size, literally, and they bite. They're not poisonous, but look, they got all this and more to live in. I have my home. It was in my bedroom, in my closet, in the laundry basket. That's too close for comfort, so it had to go. Now, did it survive the fall? The fall from way up there? I don't know. It's got 8 legs. Hey, do your best. Do your best. That is inappropriate, Sasua. That is inappropriate content for my channel. But yeah, that was my first encounter with a tarantula in my home. There was one I saw like a long time ago. Actually, I was on a moto one day. No girl, raid, because those things jump and you got to get close. So they do jump. I see you, Sasua. There was one on the driveway a long time ago, like a big one. And I didn't even see it. I was coming home one evening, and the moto guy was like, watch out. And it was just sitting there, wasn't running, didn't bother anybody. But he took a branch off the tree and like whacked it to death. And I was told by an old housekeeper that if you break one leg, it's done. It can't get away, it can't move, it'll basically just die. So I didn't try to kill this tarantula. Like, I'm not, I respect nature and wildlife. But again, not in my house, right? I recognize that this house was built in their habitat. I know, but we all have to coexist. And so my thought is, I'm not gonna go in your habitat. I'm not gonna go in your nest or your little underground, whatever it is. Please don't come in my house. I have 2 cats now. They handle most of the stuff outside. I don't really see any critters. In fact, they've been killing the lizards, little baby lizards around here a lot lately. I feel bad. I'm always rescuing lizards. Jump. Yeah, the tarantulas jump. A lot of there's something called jumping. Well, I call them jumping spiders here. I don't think they're the huntsmen. The huntsmen are big, but when I was living in Santiago a few years ago, I went out. I had like an outdoor kind of laundry room, and I went out there, and there's this big old spider. The body was like that big, and then it had long legs, right? And they're harmless, but they jump, and I don't want it jumping on me because then I will like run into something and put a gash in my forehead, or it's crazy. I also had an experience in that apartment in Santiago where I didn't realize at the time, there were cockroaches, you guys, nesting in the frame of my bed. Are you kidding me? It was a wooden bed frame, and I was all set to go to sleep the first night. It was like a beautiful modern apartment, granite and flat screen TVs and the whole bit. Inexpensive, but beautiful. I had bathed, I had on my cute little nightie, and I'm ready to go to bed, and I get in, like, about to pull the covers up, and I see this at the side of my eye, and I'm like, what the hell? And you already know. And so I had to go outside. I didn't have to, but I went outside, and I woke up the the guard, like this poor Haitian man, like at 1, 2 in the morning. I was, excuse me, I'm sorry, can you please come get this cockroach out of my room? And then, if you see one, it's a problem, but they were never anyplace else in the house, only in my bedroom. I'm like, what is going on? It wasn't like a whole bunch. It was like one here, one there, another day. And then I went to open up my panty drawer, y'all, my panties, my pretty little intimates. And there was one of my panties. Awful. And so I had to solve this cockroach mystery. I was like in my son's room, like, you got to scoot over. I'm sleeping with you tonight. He's like, what? Anyway, it turns out, because I was like, spraying, and someone mentioned Raid. I tried that. It's like, but it wasn't getting rid of him. So long story short, they finally came and fumigated in my bedroom. And when they did that, specifically in my room, sun came out. It's like, oh my God, like creep show. So they were apparently nesting in the frame of the bed. I don't know how that happened, but it was foul. And that's when I was like, I am not living in this country, because I called it Cockroach Island for a while, you guys. I called it Cockroach Island because I'm like, there are cockroaches everywhere. I can't do it. And people would tell me, um, Kitty, thank you. Yes, if you have questions, go to my website. Sorry, hold on. Go to freeislandgirl@gmail.com. Write to me, and I'll speak with you about how to get in touch with me to counsel you on moving and all that type of stuff. Um, what was I saying? Cockroaches. Yeah, I wasn't trying to move here. I'm like, it's filthy and it's disorganized and it's chaotic, and I'm not doing it. And then I found another place here, which I was like, okay, now, to have cockroaches here? Yeah, it's the Korean. They have cockroaches everywhere. And some people said to me, oh, well, that's just how it is, and you're not going to be able to live without them. And I was like, oh, I'm not living with them. That's not how I roll. I don't do bugs. And so, you're welcome, Kitty. Um, and so I have measures in place where I make sure that, I mean, will I see a cockroach every now and then? Yes, I do. But are they just like roaming around? No, I don't live like that. Um, and fortunately, my villa is a standalone. And so I'm not impacted necessarily by like my neighbor next door, right, with the kitchen next to me, and they're nasty and that kind of thing. And you know how that can happen where people live in a funky way and then it'll impact you. I don't have that. They do fumigate. Most of the places here fumigate, like in residencias. If you're living in a common, let's say, condo type community, they'll fumigate the properties. So, because visitors don't want to see roaches. That's not really, it's not conducive for tourism and for investing and all that stuff. But they're here. There's every kind of creeping thing. And I've talked about this before, you guys. There's every kind of creeping thing. So I was playing tennis, I think last week, and on my way from the tennis court to go back to my car, I looked down. It looked like a little piece of tube or something, a little black tube. It was a snake, una culebra, about maybe this big around, just small, like a little thin thing. And honestly, it was beautiful. It wasn't very, very long. Maybe it was probably more than a foot long, but they're harmless. So they have all kinds of things here, but there's nothing actually poisonous. Now, if you happen to be allergic to bee stings or wasp stings, then yeah, that could be a problem. But that could be a problem anywhere. But apparently there's nothing like endemic to this island that is lethal. Like if a tarantula bites you, I don't know anybody who's been bitten by a tarantula, but if it bites you, it might hurt. I don't know. You have to go to the doctor maybe and I don't know what happens if you get a tarantula bite, but it won't kill you, right? Snakes, yeah. So you may have an aversion to snakes or to lizards or to frogs. There's frogs here. And frankly, the frogs sound like, when I first heard them, I was like, what is that outside? Is that like a dog barking? It was like it was a weird sound. It sounded like a dog. Though they were frogs. And now I don't hear them anymore because these damn cats will chase and kill everything. And I kind of miss the frogs. It was kind of cool. Like you hear chickens in the distance. Remember you guys, I used to have a chicken that would come up here and visit me all the time. And then it brought it brought the rooster. And I was like, why are you bringing your boyfriend up here? Because the chicken was cool. It was like, cluck, cluck, cluck in the morning, not too bad. But the rooster was a full on, cluck, 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 starting at like 5. And I was not feeling it. I actually chased the rooster. I chased a rooster down my driveway, you guys, one morning. It was crazy. I'm like, what is going on here? My life is turning into a circus. So, that's part of it, though. That's part of the fun and the adventure. If you don't like bugs, like I did not like bugs. I don't like bugs. You just get used to it, I mean, you put measures in place. I buy these little, they're like little cubes. They look like, remember old school sugar cubes? They kind of look like that, but they're, I have some. I'll show you. Well, I'm not going to go upstairs. Anyway, they come in a little pack of like 4, and it looks like little white squares, and they're menthol. And so you can use them, like you can put them in boiling water if you have a cold and breathe in the, like it's like putting Vicks on your chest, right? You can do that. I use them, I put them in my different cabinets. And the smell apparently will keep bugs away. So I do all that kind of stuff. Again, I said they fumigate. If I see one bug too many, I will call the man and say, like, the property guy who's on site here, and be like, could you come and like do a little extra fumigation? And he will. And I always give him a little money. I believe in taking care of people. And, but don't come down here and think you're not going to see anything. You're going to see creeping, flying, strange things. I was on my patio one night with somebody out here. And this creature I had never seen before. Now, let me tell you, there's some things that you don't know what they are. There's creatures in the world that exist. It's like, what is that, right? And that night was one of them. We were having some rum and having a nice time, candles lit. It was beautiful. And then this thing came and flew up. And it was like when it flew, it was a trip because it had two sets of wings. It was like the set on the top and the set on the bottom. So there were like four wings that came out when it flew, and I was like, "What is that?" And they like kind of fluttered, right? And but then when it sat still, when it landed, it looked like a giant, like a grasshopper or something. I don't know what that thing was, and it was maybe 3 inches long. It was pretty big, maybe 4 inches. I don't know. It was long. And you know what? It was, well, I'm sure it was harmless, but it was just too close for me. It was too close, especially with my rum. You know, I want to be able to stay in a relaxed state. So I got the broom. I got the broom. I didn't kill it, but I definitely escorted it off my property. So that is how I roll. I will not necessarily kill you, but I will show you the way out. Yeah, an uninvited guest. And also like the candles and stuff, it attracts, critters sometimes. But the patio is lovely in the evening and I enjoy it. So yeah, so if you have a thing about bugs or frogs or snakes, just understand. Now I've only seen a couple of snakes since I've been here. Listen, understand this. Most of these critters are not trying to come jump on you. They're not going to try to come bite you. They're just minding their business. The snake I saw when I was leaving tennis was like stopped, crouched, because I guess it heard me like crunching over the gravel. It was clearly coming out of the grass. It was going to go across the gravel pathway and then back into the grass, but it stopped. I just happened to see it. And I paused and I was like, look, I told some folks who were there, I'm like, come see my tennis teacher and whatever. Come look. And he actually I was trying to pick it up because I used to have snakes when I was a kid. I had 5 snakes at one time, not all at the same time, but I had 5 snakes. And so I'm not afraid of snakes. They're not slimy. Those of you who think they're slimy, they're not. They're beautiful. Anyway, and it just went on its way. That was it. But yeah, you guys, I'm not down for my Animal House version is a couple of cats and I'm good. The chicken was cool. The rooster had to go because I like the idea of it in the distance. You hear it. It's like, oh, like the farm life. But when it's right in your own garden, loud as hell in the morning, that is too much. When I'm trying to sleep in, I don't need all that. So that's it. I'm about to finish putting myself together and go do my interview. Let me see what you guys are saying. Gecko. Yep, we got lots of geckos, grasshoppers, a whole zoo. There is a whole zoo here. We got stick bugs. I put a picture on my community page. If you look on my YouTube channel, go to community tab. I put all kinds of different things there. And one of them was a picture of a stick bug that was on my patio one morning. Just like I never see stick bugs move really. They're just always like crouched, like crouching. What is it? Crouching tiger, hidden dragon. They're just sitting there and they look like twigs. And sometimes you can walk right past them and not even realize that it's an actual living thing. But this one, I know what they look like now. And this one was just sitting there on the patio, chilling. And this kitten I have was gonna bat it to death and just kill it, So I got rid of the kitten. I didn't want to pick the bug up. I'm not there yet. I don't know if I want to be touching bugs. But I did remove the cat. And I think I might have swept the bug away. But yeah, I've seen like praying mantises. They're these bugs that look like leaves. They're super, super bright green and they look like a tiny leaf. And I would come out in the morning all the time on the patio and the cats will have like gnawed it to death, or dragonflies. And sometimes so you see all these trees out here, every now and then I'll see like a sort of like a swarm of dragonflies. And I think it must be like when they just had babies and they're born. I don't know, it's occasionally. So it's pretty wild around here. It's Wild Kingdom. But yeah, life is good. It's sweet. I feel super great. I'm gonna go in town. I'm gonna make myself a bite to eat shortly. I just started this new program with a woman who's doing, oh, hi. C. Tyson, hi there. Denise, what is that you posted? Some kind of a critter. I'm gonna be doing some juicing. My juicer's coming back. My mom is coming back with my son next week and she's bringing my juicer. I can't wait. So I can start making fresh juices. Yeah, I'm gonna do a whole kind of like not really cleanse, but just like get my body in shape and, do all that. I didn't do tennis this week because of Semana Santa. I just feel like I'm gonna chill out. But I've been dancing. That's been fun, doing some bachata. My dance teacher is super cute. Girl, they're fine here. I don't live in Santiago. I used to live in Bruja Tercero. I lived in 2 places in Santiago. I lived in La Zurza Dos, and then I moved to Embruja Tercero, not too far from La Sirena. Salsa, yes, I love salsa. They did salsa last night in town, but I didn't go. I was chilling last night. I've been having some quiet time at home, which is really nice. Um, I feel like I'm talking about like five things at once because I'm trying to look at some of the comments you guys and respond to you and then just share what's on my mind. But yeah, but do you hear how quiet it is? I love it. I love the peacefulness. So the weather, I'll tell you about that because I talked to somebody, who was it? Yesterday, somebody was in the States and they were saying something about the weather. It was cold there, whatever. It's lovely here. It's 80 something. It's mild. It's not super humid because it's springtime, right? So the humidity has not kicked in, but you can tell some days it's like, ooh, it's starting to flame up a little bit. Buen dia, Tina. Starting to flame up a little bit. I expect it to be a very hot summer as usual. You know, we were going to travel this summer, you guys. I had plans. I had big plans. We're going to go to Switzerland and Italy and a whole bunch of stuff. My son was going to go to, thank you, humanity. My son was going to go to a summer school in Switzerland for a couple of weeks. But because of what's happening with COVID, Italy was starting to shut down and the summer school, their enrollment was down that session because of COVID. And you know, I was like, forget it. You know, I had already booked this amazing hotel for my mom, my son. And I was going to go to a meditation retreat, a silent meditation retreat, Vipassana, which I was so excited about because I just want to be quiet. That's why I'm living the quiet now. But I canceled all of that. And so I'm considering some different possibilities. But I kind of feel like it's just going to be chill. I'm just going to enjoy another hot ass summer here in the DR. But, you know. And the other thing is that, you know, I don't really want to travel so much when I have to have a mask on my face and my pictures are like that. Like that's not what I want to do. So I think I'll give it another year and then go ahead and freely travel next summer. What do you think about that? That's my plan. And so it was a disappointment at first. It was definitely like a bummer. It took me a good week to be like, am I really not going to go? No. But now I'm fine with it. I'm fine. So yeah, nicknamed me Bachata. Bachata. So Romeo Santos is what they call it. Well, one of my old dance teachers said he's like the Michael Jackson of bachata. You may have heard some of his songs. If you like bachata music, if you're into any type of Latin music, he's a, what is this? Shopper. Oh yeah. Oh my God. I had a ball in Santo Domingo. So I went to Santo Domingo. I did a video from the airport at like 4 a.m, which was crazy because my son took a flight out to California. It left at 5 a.m. I don't know what made me book that. Like, what was I thinking about? Because I was initially supposed to be on that flight. I was supposed to be in California right now. But I decided, no, I'm going to stay here and just chill and enjoy some time to myself. House I saw. I don't know. I have another video coming up this weekend with more real estate. I'm not sure which house by the pool you're talking about. You have to write to me. I don't know. So anyway, I was at the airport early in the morning hours in like the downstairs area, like where people come out, and they were bumping the beat, and it was good beat too. But I was like, damn, y'all, it's early. I was exhausted. I hadn't gone to sleep because we were kind of up the night before. And, you know, I set my alarm for 1:30 in the morning. So by the time like 11:30 rolled around, I was like, well, I kind of dozed for a minute, but I didn't really sleep. And anyway, so I did that video and I was going to go to, somebody's writing me right now. Hello, YouTube viewer. Just sent me an email. Hi, I'll get back to you when I'm off the live stream. Oh, and then anyway, so then we hung out in Santo Domingo and went to cool restaurants and spots and I shopped. Super fun. Went to the mall. Yeah, you heard that airport went right. It was straight up dance hall and it was good music. But I was like, for real? Like at 4:30 and 5 a.m., the answer is yes. There was someone there drinking a beer, whatever. I rolled out and went home, got back in the bed until then my friend that I was with woke up early. And then I was up and we went out and had our fun. We did a tour. We did like an African heritage tour. Oh, we mentioned that. How did I not forget that? So, okay, so again, this thing coming up in June, we did some of that, like exploring some of the African heritage because we're going to be talking about that in our June trip that's coming up. And so some people have reserved their spaces. I'm excited to meet you guys. It's going to be a nice little intimate group, I think, and we're bringing you here to Las Terrenas. There's still time. I'll just do the plug right now. Please put, if you want to come, I know a lot of you guys just got paid, pay your deposit by like April 6th, I think it is. I know it's coming up soon. If you need a little extension, hit me up. I can help you with that. We also have scholarships available, $500 scholarships, which is great. But set your deposit down, come on down. It's beautiful here. You will not regret it. COVID is under control. The government, I think, has done a really, really good job in terms of COVID because they've had our curfews in place. And like the beach towns are really good because people are outside all the time. And there's not huge numbers of people here. I went to the doctors here, maybe a couple months ago, just a quick pass through. And they told me, I did a video with them once before, they diagnosed 0 cases of COVID. They themselves diagnosed no cases of COVID here. That doesn't mean there weren't any. There were a few, like I know some people here who had COVID, but they had it and they recovered. Basically it was like a bad flu for them. But it's been really good. So, and I say that to help those of you who may be really afraid about traveling with COVID to know that here, at least, it's been cool. No major issues. I looked at a website the other day about those numbers, and while I think there were like 3,000 something cases of COVID reported, and then like 3,200, so it was like 3,500 of reported cases, and then like 3,200 cases of people that recovered. So we had like maybe 3,000, sorry, I got the numbers wrong. 33,000, sorry, I think it was like 35,000 cases diagnosed, 32,000 recoveries, so only like 3,000 deaths. That's pretty good. And again, some of those were like COVID related, someone had a heart attack, somebody was just old. But overall, what I'm telling you is that the numbers have been very, very good here. And I think for whatever reason, well, for one thing, the government here responded very quickly. And so it's been really manageable and I've felt great. Okay, now, what are you guys talking about? Coming in the end of April, awesome, it's beautiful. Yeah, the flu, yep. And I'm not saying take it lightly. You know, I've been minding my manners and doing protocols. I have a mask. I always have in my car. So when I go out, I'm, mindful and whatnot. My son had a COVID test to go home. You have to have that. No problem. It cost like $60, a little under 60. It was done in 24 hours. No problem. Piece of cake. Let's see here. What else? Real estate. Someone asked me about real estate. Yes, if you're interested in purchasing a property, I can help you with that. Definitely put you in touch with the person I think is the best realtor in town. Super ethical. Let me speak of ethics real quick because that's an issue, you guys. All right, so the deal here in the DR is that you don't have to have a license to sell real estate, to do any kind of real estate business. And so people come here from all over the place and they'll instantly say, hey, I'm a broker. Really? Well, what does that mean? I'm a broker or I'm an agent. Some people say I'm an agent and a broker. Okay. It's easy to say that. And it's easy for people to tell you, yeah, I can show you a place or I can sell you a place. And people do. Let me tell you something. I've heard of people, when I got here, not long after I arrived, there was a bit of a scandal because some folks had set up a shop and claimed that they were brokers and were apparently selling properties and doing all that. And then they disappeared with the money. One day they had an office. Another day, there was nothing in it. They took the computers out. It was just empty. It was a shell, and they bounced. And there are some people here now who still do that. They'll say, yeah, I'm a broker, but they've either had no background in it or they're not ethical. Sometimes, and this is part of the reason that I don't do certain business anymore, I believe firmly in ethics. I have an obligation as a lawyer to do ethical business. Even if I weren't a lawyer, I just don't believe, for example, and this is what has happened that I don't like, and someone mentioned it, I'm not gonna go too far into it, but I will say that I broke ties recently because one of the reasons was that I saw a gap in ethics in a number of ways. And one of the things was that some clients came and said, hey, our budget is X amount. And properties could be found for less than that. But it was like, hey, but they said their budget is this amount, so let's just charge more. And I was like, I don't do that, and just keep the extra. I don't believe in that. I feel that sooner or later that will come back to you, and I just can't operate that way. I cannot in good conscience operate that way. Ethically, legally, it's not good. That happens. And so be careful who you deal with. Just because someone says, hey, I can find you a place or come to me and I can help you, you might want to know how long the person has been around. Ask for some references. Like, I don't know. I mean, that's up to you. Who you choose to do business with is your decision, but just be mindful. So I share that with you. That's an aside because I saw somebody ask about real estate. But that being said, yes, if you have questions, it is loco. It's ridiculous. And I'm saying sooner or later stuff catches up to you. And some people, maybe, you have to get older and learn some of these lessons, or, I don't know, or just, get bitten in the butt a few times. Um, but I'm not doing that. I have great relationships here, and I intend to keep them that way. And that's that. I have a reputation that's solid, and that matters to me. That matters very much to me. So I'm not going to associate myself with anybody that I feel like is questionable, or who could put me, my livelihood, my licenses, my career in jeopardy. I'm not doing that. Um, but yes, if you're interested in coming to visit, sure, let me know. If you're interested in purchasing some property, I may not be the one to sell it to you. I'm happy to turn it over to someone else, but I'm going to make sure that I put you in good hands. So, what does it say? Hospital bed available? Da, da, da. Embassy alerts. Yeah. So if you want to find out, back to COVID and stuff, if you want to find out about what's happening, you can check out the U.S. Embassy website. They tend to have updates. I am on their list to get information. You can sign up with the U.S. Embassy, not just me. You can go up. I think it's called like Safe Travel Program, something like that. So a couple summers ago, I went to Paris and Istanbul, and I put myself on their page just so, number one, somebody would know where I am, and two, like if there's something, an uprising in a country, or like a pandemic breaks out, for example, I would get emails and I would know about that. So for a while, when COVID was happening, and it was really, really serious and strong throughout the world, I would get like weekly updates. Sometimes I think they were even daily, like this many deaths, or this is what's happening. And initially, the State Department was saying all Americans are urged to return to the U.S., and if you don't leave now, be prepared to stay indefinitely. And I was like, I'm on the indefinite list, because I'm not going back to the U.S. I could already see what was happening there, and it wasn't pretty. And here felt like peaceful. There's just abundant food. I was safe. I was comfortable. I've never felt threatened here personally or in any other way. Um, I had an income, so I was like, I'm good. And so, yeah, that's what it is. Can I just tell you, I love you. The STEPS program. Yeah, so the STEPS, thank you very much, Casey. The STEPS Traveler Program. If you're interested, if you're traveling anywhere this summer or whenever, you might want to check it out. And I was one of those, like, I don't know, skeptical of the US government, like, oh, they're just going to put my name on a list and stuff. But I was like, listen, Kelly, if they want you, if they, me, if they want little old me, there's no privacy anymore anyway. Right? All this GPS stuff and your location, that, if they want to know what's in my bank account or on my email, it's not hard for, a hacker, I guess, to do that. I mean, if you want to hack somebody, you better hack somebody who's got more money than me. She might be disappointed. But I think it's a good idea. So yeah, the STEPS program, thank you for sharing that information. But we're good. We're good here. And so I will tell you guys, so here's what I'll tell you. I have some new stuff coming up. It's exciting. I have some work to do to put it in place. But for example, if you are interested in finding out about living in the DR, or investing here, or just coming to visit, whatever, there's two different ways that I'll be able to help you with that. And I'm having to really kind of manage this, because the demand, frankly, has become overwhelming. And, my time, I only have so much time, and it is valuable, and I am basically curating experiences for people, because people come and say, like, so for example, this past week I had two consultations, one with a woman in the UK and another with a man in New York. And they were totally different. The woman in the UK was saying, hey, I want to come and explore Latin America. And the DR I've been watching your channel, and the DR seems like a good place to have as a base to then go out and, let's say, go visit Panama or Colombia or whatever. So we talked about that. And I shared with her some of the upsides, some of the things to consider as far as that goes. The man in New York is interested more in investing. So like purchasing a building that would be used like an apartment building or Airbnb. So that was a very different conversation about investment opportunities and some of the benefits and the incentives. So if you're interested in knowing about that, someone else wrote to me and said, hey, I'm interested in coming down with my family. We've got kids and that kind of stuff, whatever it is. I can help you with those things. I have vast resources. If I don't have the answer, I certainly will know someone who does have the answer, or I'll just research it for you. But what I'm doing is saying, either we have a consultation, I give you information, and you can go off on your own and figure it out, and share links with you and all that type of stuff, or you engage me directly, and then I put together, for example, if you want to come and do like rent a place, I can put that together for you, whatever. So I won't go into too much of that here. If you're interested, the first step for now, you can reach me still via my email, freeislandgirl@gmail.com, and I will share with you there what's up. But very soon that even is going to change because I get so many emails from you guys. I love you dearly, but I get a lot of emails. And my website is going to be ready soon to manage a lot of that stuff, to free me up because it's, as I said, it has become overwhelming. And I love what I'm doing. I really, really enjoy. So here's the thing. I love people, as you may notice. I really love people. I love to share with people. I'm very helpful and giving by nature. Sometimes it's not always appreciated. Sometimes I've been taken advantage of in my life because of that. I had someone tell me recently, Kelly, you have to be more shrewd about who you let into your life and who you let into your circle. Be more discerning about who you help and who you are giving opportunities to, because some of those same people will turn around and not appreciate them. And, you know, it can go sideways. And so I'm still continuing to learn, but I really do love what I do. And so I'm finding another way now to manage that so that, there, you know, so that as more people continue to come and ask me for help, I can offer that without just being like flat out on my back, exhausted. Exactly. I have to have to have a life and have my own free time. I am, after all, free island girl. And if I don't have the free time to create and to rest and to recharge, I'm not going to be able to give you guys the support that you're looking for. And so part of my business is I gotta chill. Seriously, I have to have time to just be quiet. Would I consider taking on an apprentice? I would consider it. I am now going to be a lot more careful about who I say I work with. Hey, Bo! Sending you some love. You guys, you know Bo Rakes? If you haven't checked out Bo Rakes, you need to check out his website, his YouTube channel too. He's up in the North Coast doing great things up there. So if you're interested in the Sosua, Cabarete area, Puerto Plata, check out Bo Rakes. A lot of good information there. So I'm in the process now of putting some things in place to allow me to for you some service. You're getting all this free content, but you'll get some other stuff. Can be specifically curated to what you are looking for, but that also doesn't have me exhausted and like about to lose it because I'm too tired. Okay? Freelance photographer. Are you a freelance photographer, Denise? Internet is shaky here. I'm working right now on getting fiber optic in the residence where I live. I've had a quote and some people come up to check that out. My understanding, I'm not an expert, right? I'm not a tech person, but my understanding is that fiber optic internet is your best way to go here. So if you're coming to rent or to buy a place, you want to check number one to see if they have fiber optic cable, because a wire is better than no wire. If they don't, maybe you can negotiate with the landlord or the seller or whatever to have that installed as part of your deal. I don't know, but that's an option. It's going to be a benefit anyway for me. I negotiated with the people here, with the owners here. Like, this is going to help you guys, right? Fiber optic is a good thing to have. If you don't have fiber optic, now I don't know about speeds and like megahertz, and I cannot speak that language, so I don't know. You have to ask someone besides me for that. But you can get what's called, here they call it a modem. It's like a hotspot, right? You can get those in the US. A lot of people have those. I used to have one. And you can have it in your home to boost the signal you have in your home or your hotel room, whatever. And then you can take it with you. If you're going to the beach, you can take it with you in the beach. You charge it up and have it with you throughout the day. And that way you can do your Zoom call or send load your video, whatever, from wherever you are. That's been helpful. Satellite, I don't know. Isn't that what wireless is? Satellite towers bouncing signals around. There are several cell towers here in town. Supposedly they're good. I don't know. Those of you who've watched my channel for a while know I have struggled with internet. So not positive about that. Can you do business here? Yeah, I'm doing it. I teach online. I'm able to talk to you guys. I mean, how's the quality right now? Let me know. Starlink, yeah, someone else mentioned, I've heard Starlink. In fact, I have a guy friend here who mentioned to me something about that. I need to get back in touch with him and see what's up. So anyway, there's a number of options. Claro is one of the big phone internet providers here, C-L-A-R-O, Claro. There's also Altice, used to be called Orange. Altice, A-L-T-I-C-E. I have Altice. Telenord, I think, is another one. Anyway, my teaching is going well. So I'm on staff. I'm on faculty at Berkeley Law School. And I run a clinic there. I'm a supervising attorney for a new business clinic. So I'm helping entrepreneurs build business. That's something else I have. Another thing in the works where I'll be creating, for those of you who want to create like an online business or just whatever type of business, you want to know about LLC versus corporation, or what about trademarking, and what about all these different things, I will have something for you so you can like, I'll give you all the different ins and outs, and it's a lot, and I'm definitely not ready to do it now, but that's coming too, especially now with all this online work people are doing. I'm going to help some folks get started. Instead of doing like one at a time, I'm going to create a package so that you can just pretty much do it yourself or find the resources, because a lot of stuff is not that difficult to do. Okay, so Starlink is by Tesla. Intéressant, c'est très intéressant. See someone who speaks French. Well, Denise, send me an email. Awesome. Send me an email, Denise, freeislandgirl@gmail.com. So you see, you guys, I have a lot of things that I'm working on, and it takes time. I'm one little person here. Maybe I do need an apprentice, right? We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Just got burned recently, so I'm not really interested. Well, I'll be careful about that. You know, someone else was like, you know, she comes to town. She's like, hey, I'm thinking about starting a YouTube channel too. Same thing, same. Hey, can I take your DR Go book and put my face and my name on it and call it mine? Like, you know, I'm gonna live next door to you. Thanks for getting me the place. Now I'm gonna follow your exact steps, and basically be you. I'm like, and then do some shady stuff. So I'm not gonna go back there. I'm moving on past that. But you know, that's not how you do. And then do some funny stuff with clients. I'm not cool with that. Carmelo, hola. All right, you guys, I think I've given you a good amount of information this morning. As you can hear, it's still pretty quiet. As I said, I'm going to wrap it up again with this. It is still Semana Santa. It goes to the end of the week. Today is Good Friday, so it's going to be quiet in town. I'm going to go have a meeting with someone, an interview. Yay! Find something cute to wear. Go get interviewed, and I'll share that with you later on. There are still good workers. There are, Sojourner. Thank you for sharing that with me. No, I know. Listen, you cannot let one, what do they say, bad apple spoil the bunch. Absolutely not. And frankly, everyone deserves to grow and learn and evolve. So, you know, I don't harbor negative stuff in my being and myself. You know, it's a lesson. I move on, and that's that. Anyway, you guys, the party's gonna kick off tomorrow. I am busy, and if someone's interviewing me, I'm not doing the interview. I am being interviewed. So as like a lifestyle entrepreneur, something. So yeah, so it's an honor, frankly, to be interviewed. So I'll enjoy that. That's my kitten. And where's the other cat? There they are. That's it for me. Those are the pets that keep the bugs at bay. And yeah, so tomorrow, got some friends getting together for some party stuff. We'll be out on the strip, seeing what's what. Girls with the big booties. Yay for the big booty girls. One time for the big booty girls. And Sunday, we're going to do some stuff out of town. I think I might let you guys peek in on that. And so I love you. I want to tell you guys I love you. I appreciate your support so much. You're awesome. My channel is still growing. I don't really know what that means. Like, what am I going to do with it? We'll see. Tour in June coming up, June 11th through the 20th. You can go to my website. So my website is freeislandgirl.com. It's still being worked on. I'm not a web person. I'm figuring all that stuff out. But there's information on there. If you want to sign up for the tour, get some energy. Saw someone's comment. Some information about the itinerary and all that. You can go to global-academics.org. global-academics.org. And check out the Las Serenas tour there. see what's coming. Saddlebag Chicas. You saw my airport interview when I was talking about people are doing butt implants, but they go to the side. What is that? That's not how a booty looks. I don't know what that is. Anyway, I'm not going to go back through all that stuff. I think I'm going to do one. I'll talk to you guys about cosmetic procedures here. There's a lot of that does happen. But no more with the side booty, please. That's enough of that. We need the back booty. That's what it is. All right? I can't. Boop. That's how we do it. All right, you guys. I got to go. I love you. Have a great day. Happy Semana Santa. Bye.